things into a positive, channeling emotions into a positive way. Were you just, when you spoke to the team at halftime, were you just speaking to Glenn, or were you speaking to the team as a whole?
I think overall the team as a whole. And that's me trying to do that by example also. Is that the game sometimes can frustrate you, different plays, different calls, and but there has to be a level of composure that you have to maintain throughout the course of the game. Or else it affects your play, affects your thinking.
When you elevated him into that co-captain's role, obviously the co-captain has to lead by example. What kind of growth have you seen in Glenn just in the time that you've been here?
I say less ups and downs. He's been more steady, and that's a great sign for him. Except for the most part, his demeanor, his approach has been consistent. That's the way a captain should be.
You said earlier in the year that was always going to be a struggle for him because he's one of those emotional guys who, he lives a little bit and dies a little bit with everything he loves. So has that been a struggle? Is that something you have to constantly watch with him?
Well, I think he's done a great job of channeling that emotion to fuel him, to compete. That's the way it should be. I love emotion. I love playing with it, as long as it's channeled in the right direction.
How has he been as a leader? Has he fulfilled what you wanted out of him as a leader?
Being a leader is tough. A lot of times there's no days off. And that's a tough chore, but it's something that we ask of him, and thus far he's done a great job.
When you look back on it, less than 24 hours later, what were the intended consequences of your actions at halftime last night? What were you really targeting?
Exactly what I told him. The aggressor will win this game. That's how simple it really boiled down to. Because that covered a lot of areas. That covered offensive rebounding, that covered getting to the free throw line, that covered paint attacks and kicking out for teammates. And they were the more physical team in the first half. And I told the guys it's not the first half that I was looking forward to seeing, but I sure was looking forward to seeing the second half and how we would respond.
You got any more bags, tricks?
No tricks, no tricks. They'll tell you, I'll tell it like it is. When they're doing well, I'll pat them on the back, and when we aren't, and we'll try to get it corrected together.
Was that one of your better sparks last night in your short team?
I haven't gone to the speeches yet. No need to yet. Not even halfway through the year.
You got any of them written, though? You got some speeches written?
No, not at all. Not at all. Players will sniff that out. That thing's got to be authentic. Too smart. Players are too smart.
I think your bunch has figured out how you have to play to win games. I know that sounds simple, but you've kind of figured out a formula that if you're going to win, you got to play this way.
Well, I think they're starting to see it. That we have to share the ball. We have to create shots for each other. We have to be sound defensively. And then most importantly, we have to take care of the basketball.
Jacque, it seems so simple though when you say that. We will share the ball, fundamentals. Is it just more attitude to it? I mean, is that a bigger part of it?
The approach is always predicates whether or not I have a desire to fulfill the need of the team. So that's the first step. We can't get anything accomplished. It's the commitment that you have to have. And we've shown that we have it.
How great is it to have a player like Josh McDonald who you don't always put in there, but when you do, it's to do something really important that the team needs. He comes through with that.
He's a veteran. He's done it before, and he pays attention, understands the game plan, which is a great lesson for our young guys. And he did a great job last night of coming in and giving us some energy and making some plays for us. And it really sparked our team.
I feel like with this group, you don't have to tell them too much about Washington and overlooking them with just 3 wins, worst record in the association.
Well, the great thing is they know how I think so far, and that I'm only concerned about the Washington Wizards, and that'll be our approach. We'll talk about them at shoot around, and that'll be our only concern.
To the average fan, to average media folks like me, it's obvious that JJ's role has changed over last year in the sense that his assist rate is up, he's passing more often. Can you describe briefly how schematically the scheme you're running asks more of him?
It's just a different system. Different personnel from last year, previous years, and that's the start of it. And it's up to me as a coach to put our guys in position to make plays, and that's what we try to do. The great thing is he's responded by being very receptive and making those plays. That's simple.
How tough was it for you to resist possible lineup changes when you guys were 3-7, 5-10? How hard was it to resist that, and how easy was it to kind of stay the course too?
Pretty easy for me. Just the way I think. From day one, I said I believe in my guys, and there's a few ways to show that. And being consistent is one way of doing that. Early in the year, our lineup changed because of injury, because of Turk and because of Amir. They were out the first game of the year, so we were just trying to tread water. Now we're slowly but surely getting healthy and playing better basketball.
12 of 23 games have come against Western Conference opponents. Is there ever any sharing in the notebook with you and Coach Popovich?
No, too competitive for that. Conversation is more about other things in life. You see what he did when he came here. He kicked our behind, right? That's that competitive nature that you keeps you going year after year.
What do you think about these Western Conference opponents? Do you have a good handle on the West? You guys have done well against them.
I just think it's that day's game, and we don't concern ourselves whether it's Eastern or Western Conference. And, as long as we're showing improvement, that's the most important thing.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Kevin.